Witness that.
Your mic is back.
You going?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that would be perfectly, exactly on the floor. Might as well start on time, I guess. Should I toss it to the mayor?
Well, you are the mayor, but we haven't got everybody sworn in yet, so let's do roll call. And before we do that, today is Tuesday, January 6th, 2026. It's 4:00 PM and we'll start with roll call.
Linda Sosa,
Gary Hawes.
Jennifer Davila,
Josh Ewing?
Spencer Wade. Brent Hornsby.
Ann Leckerman.
Erin Nelson, serving as town manager.
Well, this is where I get to cry. This has been a wonderful 8+ years of getting incorporation done and work done. And all of these folks in this room, everyone that's probably listening, this is a community and we did it. And it's not one person, it is everyone. And I have been so fortunate to have great people stepping up as council members, planning and zoning. Hiring staff was amazing, and there was a word I couldn't say that was in there. But I am so happy that you all are stepping up, and so let's get you sworn in. So I would be Josh Ewing as mayor. Linda Sosa is going to do the oaths, and I think just do them one at a time. So Josh Ewing, and we'll do Gary Hawes and Spencer Wade. Spencer does need to be sworn in again.
Well, maybe I'll stand up for this.
Raise your right hand. There you go, and repeat after me. I, Linda Sosa,
I, Josh Ewing,
solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
and I will discharge
Of Utah.
and the Constitution. And that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
And that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. Thanks, Linda.
Okay. Hey. I, Linda Sosa,
Hi, Gary Hawes.
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
And that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
People jumping on.
I think.
For you that are joining us, we are doing the swearing in, we're actually like signing the documents right now to make it official. I Spencer has practice on. Don't give him the paper.
I didn't have paper on my first, it's hard.
Okay. Raise your right hand.
I, Spencer Wade.
Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
All right, well, we can continue the meeting. Any more comments?
No. Take it away.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
We were gonna do this after, but we hear that you're,
And then-
I out for a lovely evening on the town, so.
Yeah, they're opening on bars. So cool. Oh, thank you. Thanks you. Wait. I did.
She be there.
The ones who really should be appreciated are the spouses. You guys out here, the spouses. The most, I'm gonna choose Josh as the. You know where to find me.
For those who weren't here a little early, and actually like officially handed me the gavel right before the meeting, so. She said she never had to use it on anyone, and I'm gonna try to stop that tradition of not using it. Yeah, I think we'll take a couple of minutes now for the new folks to say any welcoming comments, and maybe I'll start off. I'll take my prerogative as the mayor to do that first, and just to say, just to express the gratitude, how grateful I am for Mayor Lippin and Linda, and of course, Mr. Luann, who's in the audience. The number of hours and hard work that you guys put in behind the scenes with many people never ever notice you. You'll never be recognized for all that. I don't think we ever could, but we literally wouldn't have a town without you guys. You really did so much work to set this town up, to get it started, to create the first bank accounts, to do all the things, to get us through COVID and those things. And you know, I hope those of us that are taking on these new roles, you know, can just do a little bit to carry on all that hard work and keep things going. Of course, Jen and Britt have been doing that, and we had a couple of other council members that previously stepped off, but you all have been there from the beginning, from the early days of meeting before we ever even incorporated all the way through. And we certainly wouldn't be here without you. And I think the town really does deserve y'all, owe y'all a debt of gratitude. So thank you all. In terms of what we're gonna do next, I don't think we need to make any big statements. I'm just really honored to take a shift as the mayor. I really think our town is such an amazing place to live. We all love living here. There's so many people from around the world that think this place is the best place on earth, but we're kind of the lucky ones that actually get to live here. And there's a lot of work to do, obviously, to keep the town being sustainable and to be a great place for families in the future, and to protect our backyard and protect our water and protect all the things. There's a lot of work to do, and we're just honored to take on that responsibility to work with y'all to do that. Fortunately, we know where all y'all live who were on the council in case we need to track you down. We'll try not to do that too often. But in a small town, we may need to track you down from time to time. So again, thanks so much for all that service. And maybe Gary, I'll toss it to you if you want to make any opening comments.
No, just kind of echo what's been said about the outgoing group. And so grateful to be part of it, especially to have them so willing to be contacts and help out me as I learn and try to fulfill this, but to help the town in any way I can. Want everybody to know that they can approach me, reach out to me with information or ideas, because I don't think we all have every idea possible as to what we can do best. So,
Thank you, Vinny. Spencer, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm grateful to have a little bit of time on council the past few weeks. And you know, I love Bluff, so I'm happy to serve and put in my time, council. And I'm also super grateful to work with Ann and Linda a little bit before their term was over. So that was really special and sad to see you guys go, but thank you so much for everything you've done.
Absolutely. Well, with that, I guess we'll do some town business. How about that? There's a little bit of town business that we need a little bit of recommendations from you all on. And that's we have a couple of sets of minutes to pass. And kind of doesn't make sense for Gary and I anyway to have too much input, but I'll take your recommendation. I think we ought to approve the minutes. We've got minutes from the special meeting on December 18th and the special meeting on December 30th to theoretically approve. So I would welcome if anybody has any changes they need to make to those minutes. Otherwise, welcome a motion on that.
Motion to approve special meeting minutes for December 18th and December 30th, 2025.
I second.
I guess for discussion, I'll just ask those people that were here and part of it, did you guys get a look at them? Do you think they're good to go?
I
If so,
told them they were fine.
if so, I'll take your recommendation on that. Okay, so I guess we'll call for a vote on that. Vote to approve those two sets of minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's a unanimous vote to approve those minutes. So thanks for that, the last piece of advice there. We'll also open up the floor a little bit for some public comments. If folks want to make public comments for the meeting. We'll ask folks to limit yourself to comments of 3 minutes or less. If you really need a little more time, I can let you speak a little bit more, but we do have some things to take care of. So if anyone wants to make a public comment, if you're online and you want to make a comment, if you want to raise your hand or put your name in the chat, I think is how we have people indicate that they want to make a public comment. And then if anybody here in the audience wants to make a public comment, maybe raise your hand. Let me know if anybody here wants to. All right, Luann would like to make a public comment, and I'll go ahead and invite you to go ahead.
Yeah, I would just like to say, echo what you all said to these people and out and to Brandon Sayers at Ron and, that whole original group. But thank you to you guys for stepping up and taking the spots. And doing the work that needs done to keep us blocked. So I appreciate it. And thanks for stepping in for me for the last couple months. That was good. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you for everything you did. Appreciate it. We have anybody online?
we have one more here.
Oh, one more. Bill, you're up.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but looking at this, it's like it's a generational shift, and we kind of like to. As she said, and I'm so glad that this is what I'm looking at, is new blood. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Bill.
That is lady here.
Thank you, Bill, for all the support you had over the years. And yeah, hopefully we will continue to make generational shifts into the future of Bluff. So a lot obviously to be done, but a lot to carry on and be grateful for. Let's see if I'm missing anything on our kind of to-do list before we get moving. All right, no more online. Anybody online?
I don't show that anyone has indicated at this time that they'd like to make a public comment, so.
All right, well, thanks everybody for joining us online, and we'll get moving on with some meetings. This is not a meeting where there's a huge amount of heavy policy decisions that we're making, but we are doing some important pieces. So the first order of business is to decide on a mayor pro tem for the year. Tradition is kind of to do this on a yearly basis. For those who are not familiar with that, the mayor pro tem is someone who kind of steps in to play the role of mayor when need be, whether that's signing a document or running a meeting when I can't be there. Mr. Hornsby here has been serving in that role the last year. I've talked to folks on the council and it sounds like Britt is willing to continue on that. This is an elected position, if someone really wants to do it and fight Britt for it, raise your hand now. I don't think there's anybody to do that. So any comments there, Britt?
No, it's one of the benefits of having two kids. I'm a homebody, so I will be here all the time to back up. So yeah, happy to do it, and I'll keep steamrolling through agendas if they come in front of me. So.
All right, so hearing nothing more, I'll just ask, I'll call for a vote on the decision to elect Britt to serve as our mayor pro tem for 2026. This is a resolution, so we need a roll call vote. So Gary,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Josh, yes,
Yes.
and Britt's gonna vote for himself. So that's a unanimous roll call vote. We have a mayor pro tem for 2026. Thank you, Britt. Then the next is the appointed position of treasurer. By appointed, that means that the mayor appoints and then the council provides what we call advice and consent on that appointment. Jen has been serving as the treasurer. I've talked to her and she's willing to continue to serve in that role, thankfully. It also sounded like there was no one else that was really dying to do it, so I've decided to appoint Jen to that position. And so are asking for the council's advice and consent on that. Any discussion on appointing Jen to be the treasurer?
Jen's done a
Good
great job.
choice.
Great
All
work.
right. We'll also need a roll call vote on that since it's a resolution. So Gary,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Josh, yes,
Yes.
yes, and yes. So we got we have 5 yeses for Jen to continue on as treasurer. Thank you, Jen. The next appointment is the recorder position. Really, Linda served in this for a really long time as recorder, and she just fulfilled her last act as recorder by signing us in. I am proposing to appoint Aaron to be our town recorder. The law does not require that to be a town council person. And we've decided that it would be a good fit for all the other roles that Aaron does in helping to facilitate meetings and records and so forth, for her to serve in that way. She's also just become a notary public, which will be helpful in that regard. So I am proposing to appoint her in that position. So any discussion on that appointment?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Very welcome. Happy to serve.
So given that, we'll do a roll call vote to appoint her to that position. So Gary?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Josh says yes,
Yes.
and Britt says yes. Okay, so we have 5 folks. We can now have a new town reporter. Thank you for being willing to do that. So we'll need you to help us out a little bit with this next agenda item. Each year we pass a banking resolution. And maybe if you don't mind explaining a little bit for us, I believe everybody received the resolution in advance, but if you want to explain why we need a resolution, maybe that'd be helpful.
Yes, of course. So in your agenda packet, should have received a resolution regarding continuing to bank at Zion's. So we're actually gonna talk through 2 resolutions tonight. The first is Zion's. This essentially goes through who is authorized to access those accounts, be signatories on those accounts, who have access to, or who will be issued a bank card, and then who will be removed from council, including the previous council members. Zion's does require a resolution in order for them to make these changes. It is noting that each council member will be a signatory, and then the accountant and myself, as well as Malia Collins, will have, excuse me, sorry, Malia Collins is one of the card holders, but the accountant, myself and Josh will be able to access the accounts, and Jen as treasurer. So any questions or concerns about who is named in this?
And just clarifying, for the public and for us on council, when we sign checks and so forth, there's got to be a couple of signatories on a check, and therefore having all of us on the council as signatories is helpful to be able to sign checks and so forth, right?
Certainly, yes. So for the immediate future, until we can get this into Zion's and everyone up, Jen and Britt, don't go anywhere.
Wait, don't we all need to go to planning tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know, we'll have to go to planning. We'll have to go to planning and do signature cards and that sort of thing, right? So,
Unless you already have a Zion's account, then we can, it's
They
a little
might
bit
be able to
easier
do
that way.
I'll be up there tomorrow, so I'll double check.
yeah, if you can double check on that for us, that'd be great. So, any discussion on the banking resolution? If not, then let's call roll call vote. This is required as well. Gary,
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Josh says yes, Spencer?
Yes.
And Britt?
Yes.
Cool. All right, we'll work on the logistics of getting folks up there to sign in. Well, you know, my history, I remember was we've got to go up to Zions and, you know, sign up and that sort of thing. So the next one is similar. This is our PTIF account, which is where a lot of our funds are held to accrue interest in a state-run account. And this is a similar resolution. What would do?
Yes, so for the PTIF, the Public Treasurer's Investment Fund account that we hold, we need a similar resolution. This one is, they have a template provided by the state treasurer's office. And this is essentially saying that myself as manager, Jennifer Davila as treasurer, and our accountant will have access to that. You all will continue to receive monthly bank statements and everything, so you know what's happening. But this is just authorizing that we'll set up accounts for us. There was not anything in this template that we're removing past council members, so I'll verify that that doesn't need like a second approval. But my understanding is they will be removed, Linda and Aaron's.
Any questions about the PTIF resolution or discussion there? If not, I guess I'll call for a vote. Gary?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Yes, for me?
Yes.
Spencer and
Yeah.
Britt says yes. Okay, so we will approve the PTIF with a unanimous vote. All right, so we're gonna move fairly quickly here. Just a reminder, we are all, I am required, let's say, I'm required by law as the chair of the body to make sure that we've all taken public open meetings trainings every year. So Britt, you were on that call the other day with Utah League of Cities and Towns, right? And Spencer was on there. So the three of us have already taken the training on this year. So we need the two of you all to take those trainings. There's a training that's offered by the state that's a very brief training, right? So I'll just ask that Aaron maybe email you all the link to be able to do that. Make sure that we're meeting all of our requirements to hold our meetings in public and so forth. Sound good?
Will do.
Okay. So that's nothing that we need to vote on, but just a reminder there, we got to do that once a year. We'd also have to do conflict of interest statements once a year. What are the deadlines on that, Aaron?
So we have generally adhered to the end of January, so January 31st, 2026. I am verifying if we need to do like the full-blown one that you all as newly elected officials had to fill out this fall, or excuse me, to run for office. Or if we can utilize the statements that we have done in the past. They're a little bit more simplistic. So I'm just verifying that with legal counsel, and then as soon as I have it, I will email you each those. And whether it's on the one that we hold or it's on the state one, it will need to be notarized. And so lucky you can come see me this year. So, and thank you to Marcia for providing so much support over the last couple of years. But I can do any of those, but we'll go ahead and stick with the deadline of January 31st. And I will send you hopefully the document within the next 48 hours.
Has your stamp come in? Just
Soon.
It was supposed to be overnighted and it got caught in Salt Lake City. But it'll be here really soon. So welcome to Bluff. I know.
That's what it meant. We're gonna finish this all later.
Yes, if you need the notary, hopefully by tomorrow.
So, yeah, obviously, we want to be upfront with any conflicts that we have in our voting. So we'll encourage each other throughout the years to name those if they come up. And then, of course, these documents are important public documents. So let's just get those taken care of as we can for the end of the year. Wanted to have a little bit of a discussion. The next agenda item is discussion on kind of our procedures for coming up with agenda and timelines. Aaron and I kind of talked a little bit about this, and I didn't realize before today that there is actually kind of a policy in place that addresses this. So what I'm going to propose is that we maybe have a little bit more of a discussion in an upcoming work session, and then maybe change the policies a little bit. But basically, the current policy says that any council person can add an agenda item within 36 hours of the meeting. I think it's a little problematic in a few ways, in the sense of, I'd like to get notice out prior to 36 hours of the meeting. And then also, I think it makes sense for the mayor to have some responsibility for kind of prioritizing what goes on the agendas. The law says that any two of council members can put something on no matter what. But having it be that any one could do it and then that the mayor can't prioritize could be a little problematic. So if like all five, if everybody was like, I want something on there, and then we don't have to prioritize it. So I think we'll want to think about that. What Aaron and I were thinking of proposing as a bit of a timeline and process, you all that have been on the council maybe can help with this. What you think about this, but what we were thinking about as a proposal is encouraging everyone to, if you have something you'd like to put on the agenda, to get it to me by noon on the Thursday before. And then Aaron and I would finalize the agenda by the end of the day, Friday, so that everybody could ideally have a packet by the weekend. So that, for those of us working and so forth, you've got the entire weekend and Monday to review. Now, we could obviously, if there's something crazy comes up, we could change that. But in terms of just a basic procedure, trying to get ahead of the agenda and then have the packet out before the end of the week. I don't know how that sits with y'all that have been on the councils.
I mean, I'm fine with it. It always seemed like, I didn't contribute to a lot of that last minute agenda asks because everything tend to kind of pop up naturally with work session, and then the next, it kind of comes up
think you'll
here.
Find
So-
out that you don't, every once in a while, there's something that somebody's missed and one of us will catch it once that initial goes out, but I don't feel like we all flooded the agenda with requests very often. I'm always appreciative of Aaron's packets and yeah.
Very much.
Well, we'll just make it kind of our modus operandi. That's how to do it. If you have something you want to have on the agenda, try to get us at noon on Thursday. We'll try to get the packets out on Friday. The current rules do say you can add something up to 36 hours in advance. But that something can't be added after the notice goes out. So there's some things we probably need to clean up a little bit on there, but that's kind of how we'll work on it for now, if that's okay with everybody. Cool.
Sounds good to me.
Don't think that's anything we need to vote on. It's just kind of the way we're gonna operate for now. If we decide to change the rules, then we'll have to vote on changing the rules. We do have an agenda item that the next one up is about voting to pay the bills. I actually am gonna work with Aaron on this to think about whether or not we really need to have this on our agendas each time. In my view, it's kind of like we would need to vote not to pay the bills because that would be like we're going into default or something like that. Aaron sent out the bills that need to be paid. Aaron, do you have anything to add of like ones that we don't want to pay or anything to call to our attention?
Just that I did update it today. I had a couple more, couple extra invoices come in, so I did want to make a note that those are on there. But nothing out of the ordinary. I think we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think in 2 years, I can't think of a time we didn't vote to pay the bills.
No, I think the only thing that's nice about voting to pay the bills is it does kind of make us all review them and if there is something that seems out of whack, then we can catch it there before we write a check and
And
is out of whack.
And it's nice to have Aaron explain like some
yeah.
things, like especially when like funds have been moved between accounts and this is why, that kind of stuff is nice, but however you guys want to do it, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, let's continue the way we've been doing it for a little bit, and then treasurer and we can talk a little bit about that. Just trying to move things down the best we can, be efficient, so. This is not a roll call vote, so we'll just say, all in favor of paying the bills? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, none opposed, it passes. We're gonna pay our bills.
Appreciate that.
Cause they come after you.
Including paying some salaries and so forth.
Yes, it is payroll. It's
It's
very.
payroll. Malia, do you wanna remind us about the upcoming CDBG hearing, what that's all about?
Yes, this is a reminder of the CDBG public hearing next week at 3:30 in this building on the 13th. This is for the application to apply for the CDBG funds, Community Development Block Grant Funds. So if you have any ideas of what you want that money to be spent on, that's the time to come in and say, we want it spent on this. 3:30.
We'll be here next week at 3:30 for the hearing. Anything to add on that, Aaron?
I was just gonna say, we'll utilize the same meeting link that we use for regular town council meetings. So if you'd like to join electronically, just jump onto the regular town council meeting Zoom invitation.
Good. Our last agenda item that we have on the list for today is the cemetery board. Aaron?
Yes, so the cemetery board application is open. The deadline for applications is 5 PM on Tuesday, January 13th. I have received a application and I definitely have heard some murmurings of interest. Folks need to send in their letter of interest as well as a resume to my email address, manager@townofbluffutah.gov, before 5 PM on Tuesday. If you have any questions, you can reach out. But we're very excited to get this up and going. I do recommend that you might want to take a look at the cemetery management ordinance that was passed in December. It would kind of give you an idea as to what the board members will be working on. But yeah, please send in your applications.
Yeah, this was another area where Ann just did so much work to get our cemetery going and get the ordinance going, and this board. I don't think will be like a ginormous amount of work for people to be on, but it'll be an important thing for the future of the town. So anybody who's listening that is interested in serving on that. Yeah, do try to get your application in by next Tuesday, the 13th, please. So, council members, any other items, anything else we should quickly discuss?
Yeah, I think I'll just tack on to the cemetery. Spencer and I went up this afternoon and removed the pin flags and put in links of rebar up there. They're spray painted orange to try to like make them a little more apparent so people don't run into town. We'll probably get some kind of, yeah.
If you need rebar caps, I can look and see if we have any rebar caps.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
How,
Yeah.
do you know
Forgot
how
to grab
many?
some. 18.
18, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we put those in, so people can't mess with them. So, well, now if they do, at least it's vandalism and not just an accident. You'd have to make an effort.
So these rebar pieces that you put in are marking the areas that are essentially unmarked out there.
Yeah, when they did the penetrating radar, they were identified something under there that could be a body and so we marked them with something more substantial. And you can see some of them are likely grays because of the way they're spaced, things like that. So those are out there. We're gonna maybe put some reflecting tape on them because they are big pieces of metal sticking up with people replace where people walk around. So we might do something like that, and we will get, Aaron will get you mileage and costs and time and all that stuff for the grant, for a match. So.
And we are still waiting for the formal report from Century Mapping. I'm hoping to have that, within the next couple of weeks. It wasn't a huge project for them. But I do want folks to know if they're up there looking around and everything. The cemetery board and administrative staff will work with you if you've already purchased a plot that has something marked. We'll work with you to ensure that we're all in good shape. You are where you want to be. But there is definitely a lot of work that we need to do to get everything organized. So we appreciate your patience. We will reach out to you once we have everything confirmed. I would say after the board is appointed and we have that mapping data back, that's when we'll do it for sure. So appreciate everyone's patience.
Good deal. Any other items to add? All right. Well, with that, we'll conclude kind of the first meeting that we've had with this new council. I'm really excited to be serving with y'all. I know it's by no means some glamorous, glorious position of work, but it's good to be in it with all of y'all. And people will appreciate it in years to come, maybe if they don't today. So it's good to be in it with you, and thank you for our family members and friends for being here in the audience today to serve with us. And I'll go ahead and say, call for us to adjourn the meeting, and we can give hugs and say hi to folks in the audience. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Hi.
It is 4:35 PM, meeting adjourned.
Can I make an in, Ms. Jada?
Yes, you can. The meeting's over, and but you're welcome to.